insurance.
Oh, okay. Are you the pharmacist here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If I have a little bit of like a fever right now,
Do you fever, or you just feel sluggish?
I feel kind of sluggish.
With fever, I usually say that you don't have to wait, but I say why not wait? Okay, it takes a couple days.
Oh, okay, to like wait it out. Well, that's good. That's good.
But when I build the Medicaid, they're now saying that you are not active.
Okay, that's fine.
So I didn't pull up your other insurance. So if you actually give me a card, or like even on your phone, like a screenshot of a card,
Okay,
we can
I'll
put it in and process it.
Okay, I'll have to look over that, but I can come back in like a day or two
Anytime.
to let you know.
We're not running out anytime soon.
Okay. Do you have which flu vax are you giving out? Because I was at a seminar the other day and she mentioned there were 4 kinds.
I have 2 different ones right now. Actually, I have 4 of them, but 2 of them are for 65 and up.
And what's the date of birth?
So 2 of the vaccines are for 65 and up.
And then there's actually more than 2 more for under 65, but I have 2 in stock.
So which one would I be getting if I'm like in my 30s?
Oh, you would just be getting a standard one, which is any of the ones under 65. They're all the same. They're just different makers, but they have the same strains of everything because that's what's approved.
Same strains, same ingredients. Okay.
That's what's approved. The only different one is there's one called Flucelvax, which is actually formulated in a cell as opposed to an egg. So
one is formulated in a cell and one's
formulated in chicken eggs.
Okay, so which one would you recommend somebody getting?
The only time we do the one that's formulated in a cell is if someone has a sensitivity to eggs.
Okay, and they'd have and is that one approved for babies too, or?
So that one is for 6 and up, I believe. I'd have to double check. I can only immunize 7 and up though here at the store.
Okay, so here you guys can only give the vaccine to 7 and up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. If you go to a Walgreens that has a clinic, I gotta talk to them. If you go to a Walgreens that has a healthcare clinic inside, they can do 2 and up.
I have a question. Is there, because I'm just a little bit worried, and obviously what they're saying online and stuff, is there mercury
You should not read what's online. There are trace amounts of mercury.
So there is
but
trace
not
amounts.
even enough to hurt babies.
Okay.
So I give these vaccines to pregnant ladies. Do not read what's online. Please don't.
So don't read anything online,
No.
is what you're saying.
Unless it's going to be from the CDC, go ahead and read everything you want from the CDC.
Yeah.
But if it's not a reputable source, I would not be reading it. Just like this whole autism and vaccine junk. I think
Right.
it's absolutely ridiculous.
Okay. Sorry, I just have questions. I'm sorry if am I messing with your day right now?
No, you're fine.
Because it's a little bit of a concern. So I wanted to.
There are trace amounts.
When
of
you say
mercury,
trace
yes.
amounts, what is the safe limit for mercury?
I'd have to look it up, but it's so minute that it's not even a concern with pregnant women. When you're pregnant, you're not even supposed to eat tuna because it has mercury in it.
I know
Right.
that's like I love that you said that. Because,
But I give these vaccines to pregnant women because it's so small of a trace amount in there.
Okay, so you're saying that if I go on the CDC site, it'll tell me that that's
You can
safe,
read all about
and
it.
it'll show me. Like,
CDC.gov, read all about everything on it. That's fine. But that's a reputable source.
right.
So that you can trust. Or there's another one, NMHC, I think it is. That's another one. But in terms of all the other stuff that you're going to read on, Google it, and you're going to get all kinds of stuff.
So but you said don't Google it.
I don't.
Okay.
Do not read any of that stuff.
Okay, I
Yeah.
think I was just concerned with but on there'll be like a safety study that it's okay.
Yeah,
So
they have a bunch of stuff on there.
if I do, what would be the common side effects if I were to get
Sore arm.
a sore arm,
That's pretty much it.
and that's it? You
Some
haven't.
people get a little bit of headache, possible sluggishness. I mean, you want me to give you the sheet?
Yeah, do you have
printout?
like an insert? Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. I'll ring you up at the far register. Yeah, I did. There's no car behind him.
I wish I could go on the CDC website right now. But they're removing information, I think, last I heard.
And then do you have our rewards card?
While she goes to get that.
Probably gave them all out because we had them.
like a good spot.
I'll just ask you if you're picking up.
This is what the CDC actually requires us to give out for every shot. So it tells you about the risks.
Is this the insert?
No, it's not the answer.
Do you have one on you for the actual? Because this doesn't. Does this show where the mercury is, like the ingredients? Do you have like the one with the ingredients in it? Thank you for dealing with me today.
Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Thank you.
Hi, for Misty. So you're picking up ibuprofen. I'm not sure if you were already taking ibuprofen, but there is some new evidence coming out for an increased risk of ulcers when ibuprofen is taken with antidepressants. So I just wanted to make sure that you're aware. Use it as sparingly as possible because this is
Price check and pharmacy. Price check and pharmacy.
And then when taking it with you versus you want to set, there's a higher chance. Okay.
Sorry.
1 second. You ready to read? Verify your address for me.
Yeah, so.
There you are. You have a nice day. Thank you. All right. Back.
Okay. Yeah. So you're saying trace amounts.
Yeah.
I had a quick question.
But she says it was on clearance.
So, I mean, this part's kind of alarming. You said that you give this to pregnant women, but
Absolutely.
this portion here, 13.1 right here, it says that it hasn't been evaluated for mutagenic potential or male infertility, and it hasn't been tested for pregnancy.
I'd have to reread through that because it's been approved for pregnancy. It's been approved by the FDA.
So the FDA approved it, but the manufacturers.
The FDA
This is a recent flu
That's the one we're
vaccine,
giving
right?
right now.
Okay. Okay. Well, all right. But yeah, it does mention if I have a fever not to take it, and
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
That's
I'm
why
feeling a
I
little
mean
sluggish.
you can because it's an inactivated vaccine. It's not live.
Yeah.
But I always say, why not wait?
It's gonna be $1.25.
Right. So this whole you've never had anybody come back and say they got Guillain-Barré.
Never. No, but we won't give it if you've had Guillain-Barré syndrome in the past. I will direct you to your doctor
Oh, okay.
because there's an increased risk of feeling an episode if I were using the vaccine.
Got it. Okay, and then last question: out of pocket, what would it cost me if I come back to receive this?
It is
And then I'm gonna read through this sheet here.
$40.99.
Okay, it would be $40.
41.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's not bad. Is it flu season right now?
So the flu shot comes out in August. They say get it as early as possible because flu cases start going up like October,
Yeah.
and then they peak in February.
Oh wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so
So January, February is your worst months. So they want you to get the vaccine early enough so you have antibodies and immunity towards the flu before it's ramping.
okay.
But there are flu cases that start coming out like October.
Have a good day.
So I mean, if you're better off being protected as early as possible.
Got it. So if I get the flu vaccine, can I get sick? Can I get the flu?
Still can get the flu, but your flu chances are much lower, and if you get it, it's a much milder case.
So a milder version of the flu.
Yeah.
If I get this.
Yeah, because you'll already have like some immunity. Your immune system will already be attacking it if you were to be exposed.
And you're telling me the CDC will let me know that mercury is okay to be injected.
On that website,
And
I
trace
haven't
amounts.
looked into that specifically, but you look at all the stuff on there. I would trust everything on that website.
Just okay. So CDC is a trusted site. What are the other trusted sites?
I think there's one on here. Let me see this one. I think it's just with CDC. I'm thinking it's
Because this is in like Bible print. This will take me a while
National
to.
Institutes of Health. Hold on.
You said the last name was AGUSTIN?
Nope. No.
Are you guys on South Durango or on Anticipate?
I mean, it's just
It's NIH.gov, National Institute of Health.
okay. So the NIH is a good site to trust too. Okay, perfect. Okay. All right. Thanks for your time.
No problem.
Yeah, no, not yet.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay. So, I'm at Walgreens. She doesn't know anything. And she's the person that is administering this stuff. And she's never read what it is she just handed me. So that's interesting. And, you know, wait a minute, let me get out of here because I just passed the candle section and, like, just chemical. Ugh. So, where to next? Let's go visit my old pediatrician and see, just ask some questions over there, because clearly the people administering vaccines at the pharmacy don't know shit about shit. This is rough. This is rough. I did leave a post-it right there, right behind the computer, so people can go and learn the actual risk. So, you see, sometimes I get people who are like, how do you get the insert? I just walked out of there with an insert. Technically, these things aren't really supposed to leave the box. But because they don't read anyways, I was like, I'm just going to take this. And the thing is, don't ask, just take it, okay? If you ask, then you're going to make them second guess and be like, wait, maybe they shouldn't take it. And so let me put my headset in here so you guys can hear me. Like, what is she doing today? Well, I am in between appointments because Thursdays are my insurance days, because I am probably going to need to go and sell insurance again since everything is turning to shit. And since, you know, people are going to need, big time need insurance. I don't know. So that sucks. I was like, I only need to do this once a week. But hold on. The FDA is clamming down. Can you guys hear me? Is that okay? Is the volume still on? Yeah. So the FDA is hammering down on, like, supplements and stuff. So I'm like, plan B here. Did you guys hear some terrible reaction? Like, if you're on antidepressants and you take ibuprofen, that there was somebody in there that was going through, like, some mess, right? But yeah, this is insane. She hands me this, and she doesn't even read 13.1. 13.1 right here. Impairment of fertility. And she's like, I'm giving this to pregnant women, like, all day. And I was like, this is saying it hasn't been tested. Well, you guys heard what I said. I don't have to, like, paraphrase myself. She admitted that there was trace amounts of mercury. Did you guys hear that? At least she knows, because there have been some people that have been like, there's no mercury in there. At least she's admitting that there's trace amounts of mercury. Okay? And then she had the nerve to be like, she used the fish example. And I just want to be like, you don't even know the difference then between ingesting and injecting. This is your local pharmacist. So who do you want to hit up next? Because I got problems today on my little break period here. I got some problems, and I feel like we just need to see what's out there. Let's just see what's out there. I'm going to, like, ask my pediatrician, because I know that they don't take unvaccinated kids anymore. So I'm going to just go in there and stir some shit up, you know, while I wait for my next appointment anyway. These people. And then not really boss, because it's a 1099 type of job, but they're just like, you're, like, not upselling anything. And I'm just like, because I don't think people need to be paying an arm and a leg for something like life insurance when half this populace doesn't even know how to file a proper claim. So you guys know why I got into life insurance to begin with, right? My husband lost his job. So fun story as we drive. My husband lost his job years ago, and I thought we were completely covered. And then I realized, like, that the insurance you get through your work is term. So you don't get to keep it. And the older you get, now the more expensive a plan is going to be. So I got like really upset. I had a million questions like I always do. I was contacting the organization that like, or the union job that whatever handled the paperwork. And they were, you know, it was like an hour-long phone conversation. I was trying to learn this stuff. I drove to the office and actually just like in person had this back and forth with them. And they were like, do you want a job? You should do this. And I was like, I should do this. I should do this because I don't think people know that $7 billion is floating around in America in unclaimed insurance. And it's because they don't have to tell you. They don't have to let you know that money is owed to you. That's not their job, and they're protected. Like, people think that that's illegal. And yeah, I know it sounds illegal, but it's totally legal for them to do this. They are protected. And then, and I know why now, because I'll go to people's homes and I'll be like, okay, so we put a plan together, and then I'm like, so who's your beneficiary going to be? And very often people will say their spouse or a parent, and then they'll follow it up with, but don't tell them. Can you not tell them that, like, you're dubbing somebody your beneficiary that you don't trust? Okay. Do you at least have a lawyer that you trust? Because if you die, our company and no company is going to call your beneficiary to be like, hey, you're owed X amount of money. Did you know that? It is a protection for the insurance companies because they're protected, not you. So $7 billion is floating around in unclaimed money. Like, would you even know if anybody in your past maybe just listed you, like mentioned you? And people will sometimes open insurance policies. I had this lady, this old lady, very wealthy out here in Las Vegas. She hates everyone in her family. She literally wanted to leave all her money to a dog, like a pound, right? And where they take care of these animals and they fly them in from Asia and they save animals. And I'm going, I don't know, man. That was like a couple years ago. Hopefully she's still alive. But I was like, I hope that somebody that you trust will give this money then to this shelter, because you don't have any. She was like, I don't have anybody in my family that I trust. I'm just like, wow. This is, well, whatever. This is America, right? This is our reality. So, yeah. And anyway, so then I had to learn the difference in everything. Like, seriously, getting insured, getting licensed for insurance was like twice as hard as from what I've heard, as like a real estate and getting that kind of license, because it's a mess, you guys. And it's designed to be confusing on purpose. It's designed to be confusing on purpose. So they'll be like, why aren't you selling enough whole life? And I'm like, whole life is the most expensive insurance. Why is it the most expensive? Because the payout is like that. It's within 24 to 48 hour payout. So I only give people enough whole life to cover funeral expenses, because that's like, you don't want to be like the bake sales, the GoFundMes. How many times does this keep happening? We need to start up a GoFundMe or PayPal donations because there's no money, and the funeral home needs to get paid for. Everybody needs to get paid first but you. So I'm only, which is crappy, because the funeral business in this country is $1 billion industry. Let's talk about that for a second. You know that in a funeral, they're preying on you, and they're preying on your, like, your spouse or your loved one literally just died that morning, and at 5 p.m. that afternoon, you're already having to decide if they're going to go in a casket, what the urn's going to, like, you have to, like, now make this decision that they can bump it up to upwards of, like, $30,000, and you're all emotional because you have nothing planned. So that's how they get you. Your loved one just died, versus what used to happen. And in a lot of other countries, they practice this. You're actually given days to mourn over your loved one. It's healthy for you to sit there and cry and let it all out, and family comes to visit and you mourn. But no, America is about, like, immediate, like, autopsy. We need, hide the, I don't know, like it's so quick in America, and you're going, these poor families. And that's why I tell you, like, with inflation right now, you have funeral costs upwards of $30,000. Like, they can be as expensive as a wedding. And they're banking on your burdens. They're banking on your grief. Okay? Your grief. So I'm like, why are you going to spend this X amount? Like, why are you going to go and get a policy that's going to cost you a freaking arm and a leg that you're not even going to know how to file a claim for? And then what's the other kind? Term. Term's cheaper, but it's through work. Term is not for life. You either have a 10-year term or you have a 20-year term. It is cheaper. You can get way more insurances when you see those commercials like $30, you get $1 million in that doesn't pay out the way you think it pays out, okay? It doesn't. And it can take up to 6 months for them to pay your family with term. And that's why these people that they're like, well, they had insurance. They don't even see the money, and they might not. And then what's the cheapest is accidental. Well, accidental you can get for cheap. And that I do recommend for younger people, because if you were to die, chances are you're going to die because of an accident. So that will only pay out with an accident. But people will buy all of this accidental, and then they'll get diagnosed with cancer and think they're insured. And I'm like, you're not insured. You bought accidental. You didn't buy the kind of insurance that even pays out if you die of an illness. So ideal, like my insurance meetings they're supposed to only last 30 minutes, right? Because you're supposed to just show them slideshow after slideshow of like, it's depressing. It's like that. And the Spanish version is even more depressing. It's like that guy with the Dracula voice in Spanish. And I got to sit there and let them watch these videos. And it's just, they're pulling at people, What would you do if something happened tomorrow? Would you have to move? Would your kids be able to go to the same school? And you're like, dude, get your stuff in order. You don't need to be spending $500 a month on freaking an insurance package. Like, are you kidding me? I mean, are you kidding me? It should feel, your payment should feel like a fart in the wind. It should feel like not even a cell phone payment monthly. Like you don't even think about it, So this is why I'm in constant like meetings with my CEO, and because they're just like, how are you making money? I'm like, I'm not. But I'm handing out a lot of these exempts. So, and then I'm like, and there's this detox, and there's this CB. Anyway, you guys, so I'll probably have to cut this live and then recoup, get to the parking lot of this next place to like station up the phone. I don't know if I'm going to be able to put the phone out at the pediatrician's office. We'll see. These are the same pediatricians, by the way, that won't honor the religious exemptions in Nevada. I'm like, they're really rude over the phone. So I think in person it could be a little bit different. And if they want to continue to be rude in person, then we can continue to be rude. For those of you that are sitting back and you're like, wow, how are you holding it in? Like, why aren't you saying anything? Like, why don't you school this person? Because I'm not trying to school these people. I'm trying to school an audience that is still of the belief that this medical system in our country has not failed them royally. That they are still convinced that pharmacists know best, nurses know best, pediatricians know best. Like, people who went to medical school, they know best. You don't know anything. And so also, there is a way to do this. It's almost like shaming without shaming. Jesus asked a lot of questions. He answered questions with questions. And you also don't want to show your hand. Like, you don't want to just, what am I going to do? There's no way I'm going to convince girl in the pharmacy today at Walgreens that she has been indoctrinated her whole life. That, you guys, I'd be at Walgreens till like, you'd have to check on me at 2 p.m. because we will be talking about Antarctica. And this is why I'm like, it's just to showcase right now. If you guys are like, what is the point in all of this? It's to just highlight some stuff. We need people to start seeing what it is that's out there. You're really going to be you're really about to be bullied by a pharmacist at a local CVS or Walgreens that doesn't know that this has not been tested and has never read this and is telling you to not Google, don't get anything online. You guys heard that? What do you mean don't get anything online? I mean, only go to the CDC site. So that's also why if you're in my inbox right now asking for links and sources, I really don't mean to be rude. Please do not take this in the wrong way. But since January, Feb, March, we have been warning you all that there is an online book burning happening right now. They are getting rid of ingredients, and I don't have the time to convince you, your family members, your in-laws, your whoever, that poison is not poison because the FDA put their stamp on it and they put it in a little fancy syringe package. Okay, like I don't have the time to do that with my life. I have so many other things that I need to work on and figure out for my own family. Please do not take offense to that. I don't care, is what I'm saying. I don't care to convince any of your loved ones that are like sitting back with the power of the internet in their hands, with the information age, and there's still tens of thousands of peer-reviewed journals out there that they could literally type this in and do it themselves. Is that seriously what your brother-in-law is doing right now? Well, I mean, I'm gonna go to that vaccine appointment, but you know, she's supposed to send me links and sources from some girl she follows on Instagram, and like I haven't received those links and sources yet, so I'm like just waiting here. Like, are you freaking kidding me? I don't want anything to do with you, loser. Are you? Oh my God! Just admit it. You're related to a bunch of net negatives and losers, lowlives. And I'm sorry. Sorry, I went off, and I shouldn't have said half of the things that I said. I'm sorry. But they're not my problem. And they shouldn't be your problem either, because half my links and sources are bye-bye. They're gone. They're vanished. So you're like, they're not believing me that there's aborted fetal cell in this. Here, okay. Here's all these screenshots from far away ago. Look at literally thousands of posts that are still out there. Start gathering stuff now. Like, you better be like a squirrel in gathering right now, okay? And buying books. Because even if right now the CDC website does not list those things as ingredients, they have yet to produce the statement, the study, anything that says, by the way, we know that these used to be ingredients, and now they're no longer ingredients, and here's why. There's nothing that they're literally just cherry picking what they need to out of the interwebs, because they know the movement is on and people are waking up and people are starting to ask 1,000,001 questions. Okay? We're all being directed to the CDC, as you saw earlier. And the CDC site is deleting off what doesn't make their product sound good. So, get ready, and if people don't believe you, then they don't believe you. Okay, fine, whatever. But by all means, please just ask the million questions that you need to ask, because there's still mercury in there. Mercury. If that vial breaks, it's a hazmat situation. Do you understand that? Let's think about this. If the vial breaks, that room is now, it's a hazmat situation. They can't just come in there with freaking Windex, okay, even vinegar spray, and like wipe it off. They can't do that. Do you understand? It is toxic AF. But by all means, let's inject it intramuscularly into your precious babe. So, welcome to Crazy Town. Welcome to Crazy Town. Let's go hit up another spot right now. Because I was actually going to call, I've been on the line trying to call that physician that, from Tuesday night. I have her number here. They're not picking up, but I need to let her know. I'm just going to be like, hey, I checked your numbers, and 1,200 deaths in America. I have not been able to find one death. I haven't been able to find one death. Can you help me? I feel like there's a lot of misinformation here. We're the ones spreading misinformation, and this is our reality. Okay? So let me jump off this and then try to, I'm hoping that I'm able to position it up in a way that's not like crazy obvious, you guys. Sorry. Because yeah, when people see that they're being recorded, it's like they tense up. And as long as the camera is not on them, you know, it should be okay. It should. Sometimes I like to do things until I'm told I can't do things, because when you ask, you know, I'm like that even when I do my photography, you know, ma'am, that's trespassing. Oh, I didn't know. Well, there's a big no trespassing sign right there. Oh. Okay, we're leaving. I got my shot anyway. So I do that. And so I don't know. Okay, we'll chat soon. Don't forget your potatoes. I know. Buy some potato seeds, guys. Bye.